Let's see what's coming up for you in the cards. We open the month with Son of Air. This is equivalent to the Knight of Air or the Knight of Swords. And this is someone who cuts through any BS or nonsense with his clear thinking. So it can mean being very rational and logical. You Libras are air signs, so you usually have very strong capabilities in those areas. But it says also be careful of not being too sharp or blunt or rushing forward into conclusions. Don't be quick to jump to conclusions when you see this card, because it's very insightful, it's very rational, it's very analytical, but sometimes it can be a little sharp and a little bit cutting. So it may be, I would say, use the alacrity or the clarity of thinking when this card comes up, but it may be a good time to just soften any reactions or take a pause before you take any action on those conclusions. We also have the Ten of Air or Ten of Swords, which in this deck is called negative thinking. This means coming to a conclusion about something. This means releasing any thoughts that are not serving you, anything that feels like old ways of thinking that are limiting you or draining you. This is the Knight and this is the 10. So it's saying that, forward movement can be made, but you may need to drop some old negative habits that are just draining your life force. Swords are always thoughts, ideas, belief, wisdom, understanding, and these are usually false beliefs. The negative thinking is what keeps us held back, because you have sort of a renewal, a rebirth, a second chance at something that wants to come through. But it's being held in reverse. It's being held in a state of fear, doubt, or resistance because of this negative thinking. Because of some beliefs that need to be released before this breakthrough or spiritual renewal can come through. This is actually called Spirit Guide in this card. And I like it because it's showing that things can be, I usually call this releasing your baggage. And it shows that things can be purged and renewed. Mostly what I'm seeing, though, is from letting go of old negative beliefs or ways of thinking that are no longer serving you, Libra. And then this comes into focus and you can, cut ties from the past or leave behind old baggage that you don't want to carry with you. It may require a period of rest or contemplation that you may be resisting or fearing. This is Four of Air, Four of Swords, which has to do with taking a break and thinking things over, being reflective. All of these cards are air cards or swords cards, which have to do with the mind, except for this major arcana one. And so I'm going to say the first opening of June may be a real period of thinking things through for you. Even if you're having resistance to that, even if you feel like you can't take a break, you don't have a moment to reflect on things, it's full charge ahead. I'm going to say take a pause. It may be helpful to do some meditation, Libra. Sometimes, to quiet the mind. You tend to have a very active mind in terms of weighing things. You're the scales, so you like to consider both sides of things and weigh your options and think things over from both sides. But it could be a really good time to just quiet the mind and take some meditation, take some time to pause and reflect. Even if you feel resistant to that or you feel like you don't have time to do that, I'm going to really encourage you to do that, Libra, because at the beginning of June, you have this breakthrough, this spirit guide, which is, renewal, a second chance, cutting ties of the baggage or even the karma of the past. But you have to let that in by releasing old thoughts that are slowing you down, essentially. Then in the middle of the month, we have that new moon in Gemini. And I'm seeing that in conjunction here with this 8 of Fire insight, which is rapid communication. It's in reverse here. So there's some sort of fear, doubt, or resistance about maybe talking about an old disappointment. This card is usually 3 of Swords, which is heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment. Here it's called doubt. So you may be having some sort of doubts about talking about something that has happened to you. And I'm seeing resistance, fear, or doubt about communicating about that. And I think it could be really good, Libra, to talk about any old wounds or even fresh ones. You know, Three of Swords means pulling the thoughts or swords out of your heart that are causing you to feel sad, betrayed, disappointed, any sort of sorrow. And I think what's going to be helpful for you with that, Libra, is to communicate about it. This is insight in this deck. And this normally means things moving very quickly, getting flashes of insight, getting communication, receiving new news or information. That may be blocked unless you're willing to talk about it with someone else or even write things down. You may get a flash of insight about this problem or this heartbreak right here around the new moon that helps you create something new, that helps you bring in something new. Because here's another 10, Libra. You've got 10 of Swords and then you've got 10 of Wands. And 10s are always completions on something. Here, 10 of Fire is called oppression. I'm really getting that something is weighing you down on your heart, Libra. It's something that maybe you've been carrying for a while and it's time for you to put it down. 10 of Wands usually mean, I usually ask the question, what are you carrying that's not yours? What's excess? What is, again, this heavy weight? It's funny that it's appearing here underneath this card of letting go of old baggage. And if you look at this line here, Libra, we've got letting go of the fear or resistance of letting go of old baggage, along with carrying more than you can bear, it's a heavy load, and then opening up to this Ace of Cups, which is new passion, new love, new creativity. So it's really asking you, Libra, to kind of get out of your head, take some time to reflect on what beliefs you may need to let go of, especially if you've rushed into conclusions about things, and end the cycle so that you can sort of let go of the old baggage, let go and let a renewal in, and maybe get some insight about what's been heavy on your heart. I see here, it will allow you to heal from any hurts or wounds. And I see victory coming with this. You know, this is 6 of Wands. It's 6 of Fire here, which is called victory. And if you can even just take, of the 10 wands that you're carrying here, which may feel like a heavy load, let go of even just 4 of them. And you come to this, which is 6 of Wands, victory. You know, it's sitting on top of the horse with a wreath of laurels around your head and feeling recognized and seen and acknowledged. And it's a great card of success. So what I'm seeing here is really lightening up your load, especially as it comes to what you're carrying mentally, potentially also emotionally. But all of this is about how you're thinking and what you're carrying. You're coming to a completion on a cycle of some sort of negative beliefs or limiting beliefs that upon reflection, you know, you may want to let some of that go, and it makes you lighter and more victorious. You may get some insight about some sorrow or hurt or old hurts that you may have been carrying for a while, and it may be time to let them go. I also see this two of air here, 2 of Swords, and then this deck is called Inner Peace, and it has an image of that new moon in Gemini. So I'm seeing, Libra, around this new moon, you may achieve a great sense of inner peace as well as this victory and success from letting go. It's funny to me that the sun is setting on this card of 10 of Wands, which is carrying too much. And the sun is out and shining with this 6 of Wands, followed by this inner peace card. You know, by letting go of these things, the sun can set on those old problems that you've been carrying around and really shine forth in terms of feeling light and victorious and successful. And by the way, along with that comes this inner peace, you know, feeling serene, feeling in a place where you don't necessarily have to take action, where you can hold polar opposites in your mind and be at peace with it. You don't necessarily have to make a decision when this card comes about. Enjoy that inner peace. It's also followed by integrity. This is 3 of Fire, 3 of Wands, which means having vision, having responsibility of what you're creating. Sometimes this card is called your ships coming in. You know, it's almost a story here. It's really beautiful, Libra, actually, where all of this is about the mind, letting go of old beliefs, getting insight on a difficult, challenging hurt or some sort of sorrow, and deciding what you want to continue to carry or not. And when you actually strip down 4 wands from this and get to the 6 of wands, things become much easier and lighter for you. So the story from these cards is telling me that the first half of June may be about refining your thoughts. And then the second half becomes very liberating, very free. Success, inner peace, integrity. Ace of water, which is Ace of cups, which means my cup runneth over. Aces are always new beginnings, and this is a new beginning of the heart. So new love, new passion. I'm filling my cup with all this water, all this emotional energy that's coming towards me. And this is also the Sun of water. This is the Knight of cups, which is a love offer that you either may be sharing with someone else, or someone else may be sharing with you. If this is your heart that's being filled up, you may just feel so loving that you want to share that love with someone else towards the end of the month. And it's right here near this full moon that we've got in Capricorn. So, you know, maybe new things are being revealed as you have the capacity to hold more water, more emotional heart energy, more compassion, Libra, from the room that you've made by letting go of some excess stuff that you're carrying. You know, maybe from the insight that you've gotten through this sorrow or this disappointment, betrayal, hurt. It's going to be a time that you have an opportunity to review your thought process and see what it is that you're carrying. Getting an insight about letting some things go frees you up, and then it's almost like smooth sailing. You know, you have inner peace, integrity, vision, love, and enough love to share with someone else. So I really like the middle of the month for you. That new moon in Gemini is a time to start something new, maybe a time of just feeling liberated is the word I'm going to use. And then as it carries you through the rest of the month, if there is any seriousness with this full moon that comes, it can also be a time to break free. It can be a time for your heart to feel fulfilled. It can be a time of inner peace, integrity, vision, and thinking about what you want to create and draw to you and how you want to share that with someone else, Libra.